at the same time, I'm live streaming onto YouTube. And
Wow.
I'm curious about this experiment
Yeah.
because if we can live stream,
Oh, what did I do? Oopsie.
I think you've been through. Yeah,
Oh,
it's on that more. It's in
there.
that more section down the bottom right corner.
Yeah.
If you can do that, then what I'll probably do is make a Comeorological Report Facebook page that we can co-administer, and then we can go
Yeah.
live. So even when I'm not available, we still have a consistent, reliable place where a live stream is happening.
Yes. Okay.
Kind of get where I'm going with this. So I'm thinking,
Yeah.
try it as an experiment on your own page or whatever. And
Yeah.
if it
Guys,
you can
I
do
think
this,
that's actually awesome because every time that you guys have gone away for firefighting, Mojin does it.
if we can do multiple streaming at the same time, then we got something really cool going on here.
Yes.
So I'm just setting things up here,
Okay. And
putting the art up, the
uh
Diet of Storms art.
the art. Oh yes.
The Diet of Storms art. And now once that's done, then I can start promoting it. But so that's kind of my idea I had.
Yeah. That's good. That's
I
what
think,
we do that with the other show there. Yeah. Good.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, any one of us could have
Oh yeah.
that administrative power for that combined Facebook page.
Yeah.
But then we can, share that to weather watchers in different places like that too. So
Yeah. Like the
that's my idea I had. I think
All
it's a good one.
right.
So try that out if you want.
It only shows record on this computer and record to the cloud. That's all I have on here.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I wonder.
That's what I clicked there. And it turned it
Yeah,
on.
okay.
Whoop. Better
So
not
even if
that one.
even if you're co-host, you can't do that. And if I make you host, then probably my live stream will get screwed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not under a category called more on the very far right, eh?
I got the more category. I have participants, invite, copy invite link, show chat previews, record on this computer, record on the cloud, captions and reactions.
Well,
That's what
that's sad.
yeah.
But we could still make a page and do that. But
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, the idea would be that I want to have it consistently every week in the same Facebook page if we were to do that, right?
Yeah. So you have to make a Facebook page. As
I
long
guess we could I guess I could share the friggin' YouTube link.
oh yeah. Yeah. It's a Facebook page, and then you can have like either one of us running or yeah. And then when you post your link, it'll go right to that page there, I think. Yeah.
I don't know
And
what AI companion does. Michael's asking if we can use an AI companion, and I don't know what that does, so I'm scared to say yes because I don't want to invite the worm into the apple.
hmm
Because what if like suddenly then it's always on and I don't know how to turn it off?
I was the one that sent that. Sorry, Joey.
Yeah, I got that, but just so anyways, I'm hesitant to want to use AI nonsense. So what do we have going on for storms right now, guys?
Well, we do have a tornado on the ground right now near Hayes Center, Nebraska. Third tornado.
Is Reed Timmer on that one?
I think he's been on the Oklahoma one, so it'd be kind of tough to get from there to
Oh,
Nebraska
is he?
in 2 seconds there. But
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Cool. Let's go have a look.
that tornado, it's not as strong as the last one. Luckily, that last one dissipated before it got to that one community there. So that was not looking good there. Still a tornado warning on that storm. And let's take a look. Yeah, rotation's gone. It's like more of a wind event now in Oklahoma. Good old Oklahoma. I think that would be the one to the south. That'd be the storm. Yeah, the southern storm. That would be tornado.
Boom.
So there's some rotation on that one. But and observed tornado. So somebody spotted the tornado. Train spotter, what do they see? Say train spotters report a tornado. Okay. So they didn't write full description of what the tornado looks like. So there's that going on.
Oh,
And we had a severe thunderstorm warning in Grand Forks, BC earlier. That's been dropped.
yeah, I think it's dropped. Yeah,
It's
I
been
was
dropped.
following that.
And
And
we had a tornado watch in New Brunswick today.
did we? I
And
missed
yeah,
that.
and there was some severe thunderstorm warnings
I
there. So that was fun. And then yeah, we had a severe thunderstorm warning in southern Alberta today. There's the thunderstorms all over the place today. It's been a busy one of those days.
So there's that Grand Forks storm. It's just kind of getting out of the edge of radar,
Yep.
and that's problematic with this entire. It really does bother me. This entire section of BC, I have trouble getting data for. I'm always, and that
Yeah.
goes the same for obviously some of these areas and on, right?
Yeah.
So British Columbia is not widely radar covered, and that's frustrating to me.
Mm.
The middle, sure, that's great, but even then, we get these gaps where in between the two,
Yeah.
uh, you don't get great images necessarily. You have to kind of these storms, they didn't look that impressive on radar necessarily at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, you can see there's some churning going on, but when you looked at the photos that people put on with Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, there was some pretty nice photos.
Yeah.
So
I
there's a
also heard that Manitoba is going to be getting a dumping of rain tonight, tomorrow,
yeah. Let's go have a look at
something like
that.
60 millimeters.
Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, that's gonna be yeah. I was talking about that this week. Winnipeg station there. Yeah. I laughed and they was like, they're supposed to be laughing at this.
Oh, serious. I guess they're not in on the conspiracy.
Well, uh it was more jokes. We joke around on the radio, That's what we do.
50 to 60 millimeters. A low pressure system tracks northwards from the Dakotas. Most of the rain in this system will fall on Friday and taper off through the day on Saturday. Northerly wind gusts up to 60 kilometers an hour will accompany the rain Friday and Saturday. Localized flooding in low-lying areas is possible.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Majority of southern Manitoba, yeah. And then western sections might get some wet snow tomorrow. So
frost advisory tonight for all Lake Superior country, including up to the Dryden area. And we see that we still have severe watch on in southern British Columbia.
Yep.
But the show is over.
show's over.
The show is over.
Flash
Check this.
flooding medicine hat. That was good. Good little storm rolled through there. And some
Wait a
signs of
second.
weird
Wait a
rotation
second.
around Calgary, but
Here's the last 12 hours.
oh yeah. Look at that. All them storms going east.
So a couple cool things going on here. You can see, whoosh, this whole
Big low
motion
pressure system. Yep.
is
That
very
was the
beautiful.
big rain in northwestern Ontario. And then
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it developing the center of it, eh?
oh yeah.
Pulling in, pulling in, pulling in.
980 millibars. At least.
Very unsettled in the Pacific. Still.
Oh yeah. And yeah, the upper trough continues to deliver showers after shower after shower in Alberta. We've had a lot of wet weather this week, which is good. It's raining right now. Yes, it is. Raining out there.
Let's have a look at our Nebraska storms.
Yeah.
Once it loads up here. Preparing live stream, it says.
Any chance some of this could be thunderstorms moving into my area tonight, tomorrow?
I'm thinking more. I think the thunderstorms staying stateside with this one. Be more a big rain. Kind of what's left over from all those thunderstorms. So it's all one big system, and then
It's good.
temperatures are going to be like 5 degrees through the day tomorrow. So it's gonna be one of those. If this was system coming in during the winter months, it would be a big time snow event in Manitoba.
If this was a system coming in during the summer months, it'd be a tornado outbreak.
Uh, not quite with this. Not quite for Manitoba, I don't think, with this one.
Seems like a lot of it's heading off.
Oh yeah. It'll be
That is cool.
those supercells there. Oh yeah. That's where all the fun weather's at. Stateside, Nebraska, all the way up into Illinois.
You think all this big weather is going to start affecting Manitoba in June, July, and August?
Eventually, we'll get into some big time storms.
It's starting to do its northward push.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Eventually.
like today, you know, we had the strongest storms the last 2 days that British Columbia's had yet this year.
Yep.
So it's keep saying preparing live stream on my side. I really hope it's working.
Well, it
Oh.
says that it's got YouTube on my end.
I really hope it's working for the
Hmm.
2 or 3 people who might be showing up a bit. Look at how the overshooting top just boom out from all these guys, eh?
I would love to be under one of those storms where it's like completely black, dark at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that was New York this morning at 10 a.m. Saw the looking at the webcam there. I'm sure with you. It was when a severe thunderstorm rolled through the city there at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it'd be daylight there. People, Times Square. It looks like it's right in the middle of nighttime there I think that was their first severe thunderstorm of the season too. Yeah.
Well, New York City doesn't get a whole lot of severe thunderstorms.
Not a whole lot. This one was pretty dandy for. Oh yeah, I'll post on your page there. Yeah, look, looks like the middle of midnight. I sent it to you on DM there.
So tornado watch in New Brunswick today. There goes some of
Yeah.
those storms. Yeah,
There's
pretty good.
those Yeah, those were kicking.
Yeah.
New Brunswick, PEI, and Nova Scotia there. Parts of Nova Scotia. Yeah, it was I believe inland sections of Nova Scotia. I have to double check Halifax there. Some areas are pretty close to the 30-degree mark today. And then once you get off to the coast, it really cools down. So I'll just double check Halifax. Halifax got to 23, and then I'm gonna go inland. So it's a little more inland. Truro, something like that. I think, yeah, 14. So yeah, Truro, Nova Scotia got to 29. Humidex felt like 33 today.
Wow.
Us. So then Halifax a little closer to the water at 23. And then Yarmouth is it's raining there and at 12. What did they get to today? They had a thunderstorm. Only 17 in Yarmouth today. Yeah. Big temperature difference all across Nova Scotia there.
That would certainly trigger some anger.
Oh yeah.
Trigger some uplift.
Let's see what Sydney, Nova Scotia did. Frankie was.
Here, see if you can
Oh man.
share screen there if you want for a minute.
So Sydney, Nova Scotia, where Frankie is, they had the fog all day, and they only got to 9. Well, Truro, Nova Scotia got to 29. That's a 20-degree difference.
Oh man! Share screen there. Okay, good. I had to make sure it was working.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
Okay, now it's working too well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to go for a few minutes. I'm back.
Okay.
I'll have to leave at 9 o'clock though, because I got a couple of things I got to do here. I'm just getting over COVID, so
You got a screen to share there, Brandon?
I don't have anything to share right now.
Okay.
However, hold on. Maybe if I can get this working. Hold on. So I was using this stuff earlier. See if I can do that. And they have the outlooks back. They've changed some things. So I'll do this. All right. Maybe see if that works. Okay. All right. So taking a look at this website. Where is my it's over here. Okay, so there's your thunderstorm outlook.
Oh, they have redone it, and it's a new site.
New site.
That's why everyone has been asking me how come it's not working.
Yes. Brand new site. They just posted that today, actually. So there's the thunderstorm outlook. And then we'll go
This
over
gives me
here.
hope that it's going to be more consistent then.
And we'll
Oh,
take a look at
wow.
this. So yeah, looking at where storms are likely to develop there. That's
got
pretty cool.
Great squigglies. And
Great
that,
squigglies.
before you leave there,
Hold on. Yep.
if you just want to go back and look at the piece there
So
for a
there's
minute.
today's outlook for thunderstorms. Looking pretty good.
Okay, you're going to have to send me this new link.
I will, yes. Oh, I'm not done yet. I'll go to this one.
No, I want you to go back for a second because I want to say something about the coming days. There is
Oh,
a
yeah.
map.
Coming days. Okay. I'll go back to BC, Yukon. So there's only 2 for now on that one. So I think this is for tomorrow.
Right, this is good. Yeah, it's good enough for now.
Yeah.
So
Night
this has
tomorrow.
been what I've been noticing looking ahead for the next bunch of days is that this the Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, the leeward side of the Rockies, there where I think we're going to see the most thunderstorm activity consistently in the next bunch of days.
Yeah.
And where it's also we got the fire activity most likely to start picking up again. Maybe new starts, blah blah blah, right? So
yeah,
that's something I did notice in kind of just scrolling through sort of thunderstorm outlooks for the next bunch of days. It's like every day something seemed to pop up this way. And it also happens, people have got to realize too, there's a lot of sunlight up there already now at this hour.
Yeah.
Even here we're getting late and early sunrises now, right? So
oh yeah, same here too. Yeah, we're like sunrise is just a little after, just before 5:30 now. So yeah, and then it doesn't get completely dark till 11 o'clock here now. So it's that time of year.
Winnipeg, it's getting light at like about 6:30 in the morning, around 6 a.m. and sun setting at about 9:30 now.
And I can tell you from spending summers up in Fort St. John area, the difference even from here to there in daylight hours, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
When you're June 21st, it's light out, man.
It is.
I was just looking ahead at the Spot WX site. Looks like there's going to be an increased level of convection and thunderstorm activity towards the 25th through the 30th of May, and towards early June. It looks like there's going to be an increase in the number of thunderstorm potential over the southern Canadian prairies. Just looked at the 28th. I think there's 1,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE available. I have to look more, but that's the GDPS. Yeah, May 30th, unstable, severe thunderstorms likely with trigger, and go up to about 21 on that day. It's quite
So
cool the next few days.
Lightning, that's amazing, Brandon.
Oh,
Did we
yeah.
have any confirmed tornadoes yesterday, guys, in Ontario?
I didn't see anything confirmed as of yet. I'll double check, but
Sure had some that really looked like they wanted to.
yeah, there were a couple that were rotating yesterday. But
Sault Ste. Marie looks like it. Sault Ste. Marie in that area with that all that
this was
green and
yesterday's
yellow
storms.
mixing. Uh, my aunt and uncle live down that in that area, and they barely get thunderstorms. So said they barely get any thunderstorms down there. So it's weird for them to see that.
This
Well,
new site is amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
they haven't got Atlantic Canada yet.
Do they have Manitoba in here?
Oh yeah, they got prairies. They haven't added the lightning part yet, so we haven't had any wild storms so far since they started this. But
hpfms.colab.science.gc.ca.
yep, that's where your thunderstorm outlook is going to be this year on this site.
Totally fucking cool. I love it.
And then they got Northwest Territories, BC, Yukon. They just don't have Atlantic Canada yet. So,
Yeah, well, nothing happens there.
well, except for
I
today when
say,
there was a tornado watch.
I
But
say on the day of today.
yeah,
But conventionally speaking, it's statistically one of the lower parts of Canada.
yep. They'll get an outlook together. It takes some time. So I noticed when on their forecast there they have like everything's risk of thunder showers compared to our forecast. So they do it differently in Atlantic Canada compared to everybody else, which is fine. I think they're just starting to add risk of thunderstorms, risk of severe thunderstorms this year on their forecast that they put out on EC there. So
Also happening today was some fire growth,
oh
as
yeah.
I did predict on my last fire weather forecast. We'll go time based here. Just sort of look at the last 7 days, look at the last 24 hours, look at today. Come on, today. Where are you?
Hmm.
It doesn't want to give me today.
Can I show you a graphic that I made when you guys are done there?
Yes. What happened? Why did I lose it? Anyways, there was some fire activity up in northern Alberta today, Northwest Territories, and for some reason, when I go to time based, I totally lost. Last 24 hours.
How's the one by Fort McMurray doing? Has it grown in size?
No, it's got a lot of people working on it. In fact, it took a lot of rain,
Yep, it did.
you know.
It's being held right now, yeah. But everybody's
Doesn't look like there's
practicing.
been much activity. So most of the activity's been sort of in this Northwest Territories area in the last 24 hours. Nothing crazy exploding, and like our Fort Nelson fires. Very little activity. Weather's been down up there as well. That's starting to change. And even the guy up north here, I'm sure once we get some warmer days and some wind again, we'll start seeing more of these spots. Right. So,
Yeah.
but things are pretty calm for the most part with this expected area. We kind of knew that. I was looking at sort of build up indexes and things this week, and this general area drying out. It's in severe drought, and it's not taking the rain that other places are. Speaking of,
Can I jump in quick?
sure.
So I'm got a graphic that I created last couple of years, a graphic on thunderstorm hours and days in Manitoba. Can I share my screen? It's I did one for La Ninas and did one for El Ninos.
Hold that because we'll look at it during the show because you made it, whereas we can't look at this during the show because it can't go on TV. How's that? I'd like to see that. That sounds interesting
Yeah,
because
sure.
you made it. You have the rights to show it. So
Yeah, and I'm also working on creating a database for when the records at the airport began for a number of hours and days of thunderstorms. I've got a couple decades to do. I'm working on the 60s right now. See if
That's
there's an
pretty.
increase or decrease in Winnipeg.
That's
There's
interesting.
snow.
Yeah, so there's your snow band I was talking about in Manitoba, and you can see because that's where the cold is coming down in the backside. You can see
Oh, yeah.
really the next line of thunderstorm development is pushing eastward, right? So unfortunately, you're not lucky, and I don't know. Will Ontario take more? Looks like it's pretty warm there.
Yeah, I think Quebec, Saint Innocent, Quebec got the 33 degrees yesterday on the plus side. So
Wow.
Well,
Humidex
I'm
felt
gonna
like
head out for
39.
a short little walk. I'll be back in about 15, 20 minutes, but I'll be back in time for the show.
Sounds good, Mike. And that does sound interesting. I want to see your graphs. That's interesting stuff. Low
Hey,
pressure in
we'll see you guys
Alberta.
back in a little bit.
Sounds good. See you, Mike. So yeah, that's just sort of a look at the week ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna see Frankie here any minute now, so I think we've kind of run out of time for what we can look at
Oh, yeah.
on the interweb.
The good
But
news
if I
this week,
do
I'm not
have,
as congested as last week, so I'm not going to be blowing my nose the whole show.
but it seems we do have another minute. Actually, let's just go back to Wendy here for a second. Thunderstorm outlooks.
T-boomers. T-boomers. I like that name. So, yeah, we've got severe thunderstorm. Frederick, Nebraska, 70-mile-an-hour winds with that one. It's a big wind. 2-inch size hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. So that's pretty good. It's Nebraska way.
Here comes Frankie.
Oh, no,
Here's
Kansas.
Here's what I'm talking about. Is we're gonna see that. I mean, typical development along the Rockies.
Yep. Along the Rockies for the
This
next couple of days.
Seems like every day we got some
Every day I'm
expectation
thundering. Doo, 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 doo.
for the piece. That's where I thought maybe I'd already be driving up there today. So pretty soon, I think with the next truck out is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Looks like
So
next week.
there's what
maybe
Mike was
that'll be-
talking about. Yeah,
That'll be Mike's chance for storms next week.
sounds
if
good.
we get a
Okay,
little heat.
stop share. Enough of that. As soon as Frankie's ready, then I'm ready too. Right on, everybody. Welcome to I never even said the basics. Welcome to the Comeorological Report. We're so busy talking about hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Tell a friend. We are your show about how much the weather sucks, and join in on the conspiracy with us, right?
Yes, my mic was off.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Is we are here to tell you what our masters want us to say to you, so that we can get our nice government checks. Frankie's there, but he's not there, so we're still waiting on the Frankie McDonald phenomenon to enter the building.
Here he comes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, Frankie. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great so far.
Okay, you ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Okay, I'm going to hit record to the cloud after I cough. Hello, Prince George. I'm going to cough and start again. Edit that. Hello, Prince George. Hello, Winnipeg. Hello, Kamloops. Hello, Vancouver Island. And anybody who's watching on Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. This is the Comeorological Report. I am Joey Only. This is your show about how much the weather sucks. And we are in on the conspiracy. This is your show to come and find out what the overlords want you to hear from us, your weather conspiracy gurus. No, nothing like that. No, we're here to talk science and be silly about it. That's what we're here to do, right? I'm Joey. We got Brandon Hauk here with us as always. Mike McGregor's going to be back with us down in Manitoba. So Frankie McDonald, of course, the man himself, he's also here. So we will be talking to Frankie in about 45 seconds. You're listening to the show on C for 88.7 FM in Prince George, 95.9 CKUW, Winnipeg, CFBX 92.5 in Kamloops, and you are watching us on Rogers Television, Vancouver Island. All right, everybody, if you are ready to go, we are ready to go at the World Weather Report with Frankie McDonald. Frankie McDonald, how are you doing so far, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. Weather all across the eastern United States supposed to get lots of thunderstorms and rain and cooler temperatures on Friday night and Saturday. All across the eastern United States, eastern Canada, they got snow and brain advance over those places. They're predicting lots of rain in June in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland, East Coast of the United States, and interior eastern United States as well. Then they got lots of rain ahead for Nova Scotia next week in New Brunswick and Quebec, where Base Guy lives, in Ontario and all those places, and all the way down to Florida and those places. Lots of rain in Vancouver next week as well, in the West Coast too. In Seattle, Portland, all those places. Lots of thunderstorms going on in central United States as well. Then they get lots of rain in Ontario next week. All across the entire eastern United States and northwestern United States. In Vancouver, British Columbia, they got some rain aiming it towards. Interior British Columbia as well. They got showers in the forecast there.
What else, Frankie?
And you got lots of rain in the forecast all across Florida in those places. There's a possible hurricane aiming towards Nova Scotia on June 8th. Possible, but it's too far off yet. It's supposed to get a really, really active hurricane season in the Atlantic this year. And Vancouver's well overdue for a massive earthquake.
People from Vancouver, you can't escape from major earthquakes forever.
Lots of rain in down South America. Lots of rain in Venezuela, Colombia, parts of Bolivia, and Peru, and Ecuador, those places. It's really, really dry in Chile, northern Chile right now. And lots of rain in next week in southern Chile. And snow over the mountains in southern Chile. It's getting colder in Argentina because their winter starts. Lots of rain coming off the south coast of Brazil. Off the coast of southern Brazil. And La Nina at the cold waters of the Pacific is developing. Off the coast of Ecuador. Weather all across England. A lot of rain going on in Amazon rainforest in Brazil and over in England. Lots of rain off the coast of England and rain heading towards England. Then they got some rain and thunderstorms forecast in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland next week as well. Then they got some rain and showers heading for France and Germany and Netherlands and Denmark and all those places in Bosnia and Croatia and all these countries. And it's really dry in Spain and Portugal right now. Then it goes to thunderstorms in the forecast next month in Spain and Portugal. Lots of showers in the forecast in Norway, Finland, Sweden right now, including Belarus's showers in the forecast there too. Even Moscow, Russia's getting warm too. And lots of thunderstorms and showers in Turkey right now, in Syria.
Turkey.
And lots of rain coming off the coast of Japan. There's supposed to be a typhoon aiming towards or brushing Tokyo, Japan next week. Sometime possible.
What's its
could be a
name, Frankie?
typhoon.
Does it have a name yet?
And then over in Japan and meteorology and a typhoon, and I don't know yet.
Okay. What else, Frankie? Oh my God, Japan.
Over in Japan in the Pacific typhoon season. According to that, the first named storm is Tropical Depression Agon.
Aegon.
It could be brushing Japan next week as well.
That was worth the wait. Tropical storm Aegon.
Then they got some lots of wet weather in Japan. They got Aegon might brush Tokyo next week as well. Then they got some lots of thunderstorms and showers in Japan after Aegon. Then it's supposed to be another cyclone sometime in June heading towards China as well. Lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in southern China, Vietnam, Laos, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand. It's in a rainy season now. Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, Bangladesh, they're in the rainy season now. And over in India, cyclone's going to hit India the Saturday and the Sunday coming up in eastern India. It's still extremely hot in India right now. There'll be the monsoon season real soon. In Sri Lanka will be the monsoon season. It's extremely hot in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and all those places. Over in the Middle East, it's really dry with chances of showers and thunderstorms in Middle East, like United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, including Yemen, Oman, Qatar, and all these places. Egypt is really, really hot there right now. So it's Libya, Algeria, Morocco. There's a lot of storms in Nigeria and Ghana. They're in the rainy season now, including Northern Congo, Gabon, and Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Kenya, those places. A lot of showers and thunderstorms going on in Nigeria right now. In Southern Africa, lots of precipitation going on in. And South Africa is getting this dry weather, except for Cape Town, South Africa. That's really dry in Angola, Namibia, Botswana, Mozambique, with showers and forecasts, including Madagascar, Africa. And Southwest Pacific, lots of cold air in New Zealand right now. They're even getting snow in New Zealand. And Australia is getting cooler right now. It's really hot in northern Australia. Australia is cooling off because winter starts on June 20th. Sydney, Australia is the showers and lately.
Today, Dave Jeffrey was telling me, because he grew up in New Zealand, how his dad totally understood the weather. And he said, when it comes from the south, it's dry and cool. When it comes from the north, it's wet. And so,
Antarctica is dark 24 hours a day. Up above the Arctic Circle is 24-hour daylight.
you know what they're going to say about that tropical storm that's about to hit Japan, Frankie? Someday they'll say, first it again, and then it gone.
Hang on.
Right. Hilding Donaldson's also joined us tonight, Frankie, out in
Yes.
Grassy Plains.
How's the weather in Grassy Plains?
Oh, it's raining this afternoon. We had up to 25 degrees yesterday. It was a really nice day yesterday.
Wow, that is warm. That is warm. Frankie, what have you been doing this week? I've seen that you were dancing a lot. Were you dancing with the girls?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, all of them?
Quite a few of them.
Quite a few of them. Yeah, right on, buddy. And were you doing karaoke?
Yes, that was last night. Houston was hard hit. Greenfield, Iowa was flattened by a tornado.
Right. What about the big tornado today that happened? There was a big tornado in Oklahoma.
It was mighty bad there. Down in the States, Memorial Day is Monday.
It was mighty bad there. Yeah, we saw it on radar. We were all watching it, Comeorological Report cast on the group chat, and it was crazy looking. It was crazy looking, crazy inflows, and then there was 2 tornadoes at the same time for a little while, Frankie. Not just one, 2. Twins.
And then what happens if you have 50 tornadoes in one time?
Can you imagine 50 tornadoes at once?
Yeah.
That would totally remove your house.
What does that mean?
It means nothing would be safe wherever those 50 tornadoes hit at once.
I'm going to do an interview with Anthony, but I'll be back.
Okay, Frankie's going off to do an interview. There he goes. He's a very busy man. He's always doing 15 interviews at a time. Don't you know this, Brandon?
Yeah, he is. And especially I noticed Sydney, Nova Scotia covered in fog today, so I'm surprised he didn't make any foghorn noises yet.
We'll have to get him to make some foghorn noises when he comes back,
Yes.
I'm thinking.
When he comes back, he's got to make some
What ab-
foghorn noises.
What about those twin tornadoes today?
Yes, well, we had some pretty big tornado. I'd say, yeah, pretty close to twin tornadoes. One was 2 on the ground for a brief couple of minutes, and then the main one really took the show. And we're very lucky. Looks like just these 2 tornadoes missed these 2 towns, or the big tornado missed the towns that they were heading for. So, yeah, very good that tornado dissipated before it went out to Altus, Oklahoma there, because that could have been a bad situation a couple hours ago. And then we had a couple other tornadoes touching down in Texas today too. So it's been definitely a wild day of active weather, wild week of active weather across the
Thursday's been
US.
good to us lately, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
We've been able to come on with things to talk about. We had severe storms in British Columbia today. Also,
Mm-hmm.
nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing like Oklahoma.
Nothing like Oklahoma. No.
Yesterday there was tornado watches in Ontario.
Yep, there was, and a couple warnings that were issued, and there were a couple storms that showed definitely had some signs of rotation on them. So, whoops. See what the end results are, but lots of lightning with those storms. Like those storms.
Well, that one that went up through Chalk River there too. It going through Provincial Park through that's pretty high country there. Like
Yeah.
some of the Foy Mount's 2,000 feet above sea level. So for Ontario, that's very high country, right?
Yeah.
That's basically the Laurentian chain there. So things happen sometimes in hills like that.
Oh yeah.
Where it's not necessarily visible from where the road is, and so it'd be interesting to see what gets found.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then then today we had tornado watches in New Brunswick today. So
Completely
Yeah.
strange, but not out of the question, but rare. Only so many of those a year.
Yep, usually you get maybe one or two tornado watches a year in New Brunswick. So yeah, they've already got one in the month of May there. So that's and yeah, parts of Nova Scotia had a 20-degree temperature difference today. So for example, where Frankie is up in Sydney, it only got to 9 degrees with the fog and the mist all day. And then in the Truro area, I think I believe the town is called, hold on, it is called Debert, Nova Scotia. Debert, Nova Scotia, the hot spot all of Canada today, 29.2 degrees. So 20-degree difference.
And
Very
what's
hot for
what's
Nova
what's the
Scotia.
scoop of weather in Vancouver and interior British Columbia?
Well, it was a little bit stormy. Weather's trending down. Still pretty cool for the most part. And wet more so. Definitely not into the heat yet, Frankie. What about all the fog today in Sydney, Frankie?
Because the warm air, cold air fighting each other this time of the year. Hurricane season will be kicking up in the high gear in September. It's going to be really active hurricane season in Atlantic this September coming.
What do you think? Do you think tornadoes or hurricanes are going to hit Sydney, Nova Scotia this year,
Going to
Frankie?
hit Sydney, Nova Scotia, Miami, Florida, New Orleans, even Toronto.
Even Toronto. Look out, hurricane season. We did have Hurricane Hazel hit Toronto back in the day. What was it, 1953 or something to that effect?
It was really bad.
I'm saying 53, and now I'm doubting myself. Arg. Hurricane Hazel, 1954. I knew it.
Arg, me. You sound like pirates. Arg.
So it's not out of the question that a hurricane can hit Toronto, Ontario. Especially if Lake Ontario is warm enough that it gives it just enough fuel to keep it alive just long enough.
Oh, yeah.
Or even Lake Erie, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan. That means hurricane can even hit Chicago.
Imagine if 50 hurricanes hit at once, Frankie.
Ultra bad. What happens if a hurricane hits Chicago? What does that mean? Because Lake Michigan's warm enough.
What if 50 hurricanes and 50 tornadoes hit the same place at the same time, Frankie?
Total destruction. And earthquakes, too.
And earthquakes, 50 earthquakes at the same time as well. It could happen. I'm sure there's a planet where that's happened.
Oh my God, major floods in Indonesia.
Oh my God, Indonesia.
Yeah.
What's happening there, Frankie?
Heavy rains and things like this. Road damage and things like this.
Is it the gorilla monsoon season?
The monsoon season is supposed to be ending. Indonesia is supposed to be entering dry season.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of India, not Indonesia. What am I? Silly?
India is in northern hemisphere. Indonesia is in
Yes.
southern hemisphere.
Yes, I'm sorry everybody who's watching us in Indonesia that I forgot where your country was temporarily. There's like 200 million people who are right now angry in Indonesia. Like the Comeorological report, they're lying to us about HARP and they're lying to us about Indonesia. And there's also been lots of volcanic activity there. I think Ron's finally settled down a little bit, eh, Frankie?
Yeah.
And now we got new volcanoes that might go off in Indonesia. So that's a place where if you want to see volcanoes, maybe don't go to Oklahoma, But if you want to see tornadoes, go to Oklahoma. But if you want to see volcanoes more than tornadoes, you go to Indonesia. Is that correct, Frankie?
Yeah.
And if you want to see 50 tornadoes at once, go to Brandon.
What
Brandon,
about-
what's going on this week in Western
What
Canada?
about the earthquakes?
Sorry, I forgot about the 50 earthquakes at the same time as well. Anywhere in
Hmm.
Canada that can happen, Western Canada this week, Brandon, 50 hurricanes, 50 earthquakes, 50 tornadoes, same time.
50 lightning bolts at the same time. That'd be awesome.
What about the
I,
50 giant asteroids?
And
Oh.
50 giant
That
asteroids.
hurt.
Is that coming anywhere in Western Canada this week, Brandon?
Doesn't look like it. Unless you call myself going outside to throw rocks. If you call those asteroids, I have a good throw. I hear I can whip it pretty good.
So maybe
Okay.
not in the asteroids. What about the 50 tornadoes, 50 bolts of lightning anywhere in Western Canada?
Well, easily we're getting 50 bolts of lightning right now in parts of Western Canada. At least 50 of them in the last hour across BC, across Alberta. And this past week here in the province of Alberta, we've been dealing with from fairly unsettled weather. Couple of rounds of thunder showers sneaking through my neck of the woods here this last week. Had a pretty good little thunderstorm roll in on our last show there, which is why it kind of disappeared in our last show because lightning was getting close and I was getting a little excited. And
Brandon cares about storms more than talking about storms.
well, and plus I was really stuffed up and sneezing and snotting all over the place. So
The explanation I just gave is completely forgivable and reasonable.
it is. This next time there's a thunderstorm rolling in, I will bring you out to the show outside, to the lightning show, and bring it on the show next time.
I mean, could you imagine if we're like, let's talk about weather. We're weather gurus. We love weather. And there's a thunderstorm's happening outside. Who cares?
Yeah, I've been that bad for a very long time. Like I was a kid in class. If there was a thunderstorm rolling in during the middle of class, I was not paying attention to anything going on in the classroom. My eyes were out the window and they had to close the blinds on me because I was looking out the window. But I still found a way.
That was me too. And our school, Mayock Township Public School, it's surrounded by horse fields and things like that. So until you go to grade 7, you go to the town school. But in high school, I was rewarded this one time for staring out the window all of high school. In grade 10, one day, a CF-18 Hornet flew right by the school windows. Just,
well,
yeah. I was like, did anybody see? It's like, how can we talk about school after that just happened?
Well, did I tell you about the story on when I was in high school? I was pretty good at weather. All the kids thought I was pretty good at weather, and we were getting ready for phys ed class, and they asked, all these kids asked me, "What's the weather going to do for flag football? Are we going to play in the rain?" And I said, "Well, guys, to be honest with you, we're actually going to be playing flag football in a thunderstorm today." And they say, "Really? Really? Oh, yeah, that's what's going to happen." So we get outside and we get ready for flag football class. And the teacher makes us run laps around the field, because we got to work out and stuff,
And that's when 50 bolts of lightning and 50 tornadoes.
Hold on. And you can see the clouds growing, getting darker and darker and darker. And I was getting excited, and we were outside, and I'm running around.
And that means I was just talking to another podcast known as Anthony Rogers Show.
Oh, yes.
The Anthony Rogers Show.
Anthony Rogers Show.
Oh, Anthony Rogers. I thought it's against Anthony Rogers, I thought you meant.
I'm back, guys.
Hi, Mike. So Brandon's trying to get this story done.
So the clouds are getting darker, spookier and scarier and black, and it starts to spit just a little bit. And we're excited. We start playing flag football, and I don't even have the football or anything. And all of a sudden, there's this big flash of lightning across the sky, and the thunder just cracked. And all of a sudden, everybody in the schoolyard or on the football field cheered and three guys lifted me up in the air like I scored the winning touchdown or the winning winning goal. And I didn't even score a touchdown.
Putting you higher towards the lightning.
Put me higher towards the lightning, chanting "Hawk, Hawk, Hawk!" Yeah, yeah.
Could you imagine if that was the moment you were struck?
I know. So yeah, that was
would
my
have been
time in high school. And as we try to get through the rest of this weather forecast, is try to get through as well.
So 50 tornadoes, 50 hurricanes, 50 bolts of lightning,
and we got unsettled
What about the
unstable weather
earthquakes?
for the rest of the week.
50
which
earthquakes.
means more showers, more thunder showers tomorrow, and especially as we get through the weekend as well, we're going to start upping that temperature here. So looking pretty good, especially as we get to the weekend. Now, another awesome story I found this week was a guy going skydiving, okay? And he forgot his phone in his pocket. Well, when you jump on an airplane, your phone's in your pocket. Well, that's a pretty good chance that your phone is going to fall out of that pocket. And it did. 12,000 feet. And it landed. Well, dropped. And guy, well, he had his settings on Find My Phone, you know, on the iPhone settings there. So he found his phone, and it still works. That is, yeah, some more amazing news for everybody tonight on the show.
Well, I believe that because you recall that I had the iPhone that I lost out in the snow, chest deep snow. And then I went up there at the very end of the heat dome in 2021 and found the iPhone. And it was all dried out because the heat dome dried it out. And I was like, that's why I was like, hey, I should go get that iPhone. This humidity's so low, it would dry out anything, including my phone if it's up on the mountain. And I went up and I found the phone and plugged it in. And it worked. And it still works, sort of.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is awesome.
You know, we have not been paid to say this.
And meanwhile, my phone survived a 30-minute downpour and got soaked in rain, buckets of rain, and it still works. That's iPhone for you.
It's one time in the Carnegie Center in Vancouver. It's a downtown east side. It's the Carnegie Center. It's a big community hub, and there's like cheap meals on the second floor. So we were up there having lunch during, working, and we went and had lunch. And her phone rang, and she went to pull her phone out of her pocket, and there's like one mop bucket full of like just the dirtiest, disgusting downtown east side mop water you can imagine. And it was, about 10 feet away, and it just flew out of her hand and straight into that mop bucket like 10 feet away. And I was just like, wow, you couldn't do that if you tried. Like, it was just boom, nothing but splash. Nothing but splash. We forgot to say the Brandon Hoke report.
The Brandon Hoke report.
I forgot to say that today.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm getting worse at this as we go on over the years, for sure. Hilding, what's going on down on the farm?
Well, we got all our cows in yesterday and branded all the calves and got them ready to put out to pasture. And so we were really thankful that it was hot sun yesterday and not drizzling rain when we're out there running the cows around. Had to drink a lot of water, of course. And then this morning it was clear as a bell, and we went out and we finished the last couple cows. And as we started putting them back out into the pen, it started drizzling rain till I came in for dinner. It was drizzling rain, and it's been settled into a gray, cloudy, drizzly afternoon here today.
Yeah, and there's more of that coming for weather's southern BC. The weather's not been awesome. What's kind of interesting is Mike McGregor's got some graphs he's made up of thunderstorm history in Manitoba that he wants to share tonight on the show. Mike McGregor, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Just got back from a walk. I don't know if I'm supposed to use the word for that virus that caused the pandemic, but I got sick with that and finally tested negative today. So I'm feeling a bit more energetic and ready to do this show. You want to do my weather checkup a bit later. I got the graphics I can pull up right now. I'm going to share my screen though.
Yeah, go.
Okay. All right, they're right here. So these are thunderstorm hours. that I have done research on for Manitoba and specifically Brandon, Winnipeg. I haven't done a La Nina one yet for Brandon, but for Winnipeg.
And maybe for the radio listeners too, describe a little bit about what you're seeing.
So what you guys are looking at is a graphic of all of the hours and days of thunderstorms that both Winnipeg and Brandon picked up in the last 50 years or so. This dates back to 1953. And more recently as 2015, and the La Nina one, I believe, has got up to about 2017 or I don't know. Anyways, there is a clear trend for like Manitoba. There was a spike in the 1960s and 1970s during El Niños for hours. The max hour in 1972, Brandon and Winnipeg both received. Winnipeg picked up 67 hours, and Brandon picked up 58 hours for thunderstorms. And I think in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there was a decline. It seems that that decade was much cooler, so it's actually wasn't surprising to see that numbers went down into the 20s and 30s. And then there was an uptick, went back up in 2009 after the warming era of 05. You see 2002 at 56 hours for Winnipeg. That was during an El Nino. And then 2015, Winnipeg picked up 58 hours. I can post the graphic somewhere if you guys want later on. And there's a clear trend during El Nino. Pardon me, sorry, I'm trying to get this switched over to La Ninas. I made one for La Ninas, and there's a clear trend for higher than average thunderstorms every year. The only exception is 2007, 2008, and 2011, which had 19, 2011, 23 hours in 2008, 35 in 07. And then there was a steady average between 30 and 60 plus hours for Winnipeg during.
Seems to sit in the 50s there for quite a bit.
Yeah. And I'm kind of interested to see if Brandon maybe has a higher number, because they seem to be getting more storms because they're like by Saskatchewan, but there seems to be a regular trend of higher than average rainfall amounts, and that's to be expected. La Ninas do bring that, but I'm creating a graphic on all of the decades and all years. So I'll have the 60s, all the entire 60s, the entire 70s, entire 80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s, and hopefully 2020s to see if there's a decline or an increase in that. And I have to look at adding days too. This is just what I got so far. But this is kind of interesting to see because a kid living in Winnipeg, I thought, well, thunderstorms don't happen that often. And actually, 2000 was probably the biggest for that, 66 hours for thunderstorms. So that's equivalent about probably about 4 days straight if you put that into an entire day. So
that's like 2 out of 3 days in the summer.
Yeah. I thought I shared that with you guys. I got to get back in the Zoom here and stop sharing. There you guys go.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Good work.
Thanks.
Excellent work. Frankie McDonald, what would happen if 50 tornadoes, 50 hurricanes, 50 earthquakes, 50 bolts of lightning, and 50 Donald Trumps came to Winnipeg?
Then it'd be doomsday.
It would be doomsday. 50 Donald Trumps, 50 earthquakes, 50 asteroids, 50 Brandon Houcks.
But yeah, I do see a clear increase in the recent 10 years or so for number of hours going back to the regular old average. There may even be that just the fact that the 90s was a cooler decade, but I would have to say that there is probably signs that that number has definitely gone up. Even here last year, we had more thunderstorms than average. So climate change seems to be bringing them to prairies more often.
What do you think, Frankie? Going to be big tornadoes this year in Manitoba?
Yes.
Well, there you
There's
go.
going to be a
Mike.
lot of earthquakes in Vancouver. It's going to be a mega quake.
People in Vancouver, you can't escape major earthquakes forever. Right, Frankie?
Yeah.
An earthquake monster.
You know what we got, Frankie? We got some Frankie videos this week lined
Yes.
up. So if you are ready, and I'm ready, if everyone's
Um,
ready, hopefully
I
they
forgot
work.
to mention our weather.
Yeah,
And
sure.
actually,
You better say something about the weather.
it's been quite cool here. I was actually out today. I was like, geez, I should put on a sweater. 3 days ago, I was able to wear shorts, and the wind's been out of the north. It's been kind of cold and cloudy out off and on the past couple of days, and I think we're supposed to get more rain in the next couple of days or so. I think like 50 or 60 millimeters of rain. It's been usually wet this year so far. Last week we had a really big squall line move through. Saw a decaying shelf cloud. It was really cool with seeing the lightning and everything. And apparently some trees were knocked down out by Carmen, completely uprooted, a couple of them. And there was some gust nados apparently out in the prairie countryside too. So it's getting a bit more active here in Manitoba. Even had a couple of tornado warnings south of the city last week. So I think we're going to start seeing more of that. But yeah, it's definitely one of those days today that I want to wear shorts. Don't want to wear shorts.
We should qualify too. I've always mean to say, I'm getting worse at this as the years go by. I mean to say at the top of the show that we're recording on May 23rd, Thursday, May 23rd. And it's 7:34 currently on Thursday, May 23rd. Is that what I said? Yes, that's what I said. So if you're listening in Winnipeg on Monday and you're like, 50, 60 millimeters of rain are coming tomorrow, that just happened on Friday. Be aware, we're talking about the past, not the future. That's
I do see highs.
we're bad
later
weathermen
this-
because whenever you hear this show, like I don't know when Vancouver Island airs an episode. Like I know Sunday night, but I don't know if it's this week's episode that airs or how that works. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, somebody knows. It's not me.
It's good that you
I'm just sort of
mentioned that.
lucky to be here because I expected to be up. I'm getting a fire call, so I'm at some point in the next number of days going to be gone for probably 15 days or something like that. So anyways, we got Frankie videos of the week. Frankie, you tell me about your videos this week. Did you make any good
Like
videos
in
this week,
Iowa,
Frankie?
because
Thanks again,
I did
Joey.
a forecast for Iowa.
And did it come true, Frankie?
Yes, it came true.
It came true. So we're going to hear two past forecasts that both came true as well.
It's like a severe thunderstorm hit Iowa on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. And heavy
Well, let's
rain
start
hit
with
southern
Sydney.
Chile.
Let's start with Sydney today.
Yeah.
And let's hope we can hear it because I've been having weird computer issues, audio issues with Frankie's videos. Here's Frankie's video on warm and muggy in Sydney area today.
Yes. Hey everybody, it's Frank now. It's warm and muggy where I'm at right now, Sydney area. It's warm and muggy right now. Guess what I'm wearing? Base Guy Show shirt. Things are great so far. I'm still supporting the Base Guy Show. Things going great so far. I'm wearing a
Did you guys
t-shirt
hear
that
him?
says Base Guy Show logo on it. Still, Base Guy Show is still around. Things are going great so far. I'm doing really well on my side. And Base Guy Show never went anywhere, but Base Guy Show is still around. I'm wearing the Base Guy Show shirt right now. It's warm outside in Sydney area right now for right now. This is Frankie McDowell, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Severe thunderstorms head towards Iowa, including Quad Cities, Iowa on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 is going to bring a lot of rain and large hail damage, winds, and tornadoes possible in Quad Cities, Iowa, like Davenport, Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa, Webster City, Iowa, including Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and Des Moines, Iowa. Is going to bring a lot of thunderstorms and heavy downpours. It's going to bring chain lightning, very loud thunder. It's going to cause tornadoes in Iowa, including large hail. There'll be hail capable of breaking windows and things like this. It's going to bring a lot of large hail, heavy downpours, damaging winds, possible derecho in Iowa. The winds are going to be mighty strong in the state of Iowa as well. It's going to bring really strong winds, heavy downpours, and large hail in the state of Iowa, including Quad Cities, Iowa as well. People in Iowa, be prepared. Make sure if your rubber boots, raincoats, and rain suits ready when the door of severe thunderstorms. Unplug your TVs, computers, stereos, and gaming consoles so you don't get a power surge. Make sure to stay away from the underneath trees and don't go near the golf courses. And stay away from golf courses during severe thunderstorms because it's going to bring a heavy downpours. When the severe thunderstorm happens in the area, get inside your house so you can be safe. Have your smartphones charged. Have your laptops charged. Have your mobile internet ready as well. Because the severe thunderstorms could be really bad in the state of Iowa as well. If you have anybody live in Iowa, be prepared for severe thunderstorms on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in severe thunderstorms. Stay driving safe. This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live from Sydney, Nova Scotia. Heavy rain is headed towards Santiago, Chile on Monday, May 20th, 2024. It's going to bring up to a lot of rain in Santiago, Chile and the surrounding areas. I urge people to don't walk through the puddles. Avoid the puddles when you go for walking. Santiago, Chile. It's going to last from May 21st, May 22nd, May 23rd, and May 24th, 2024 in Santiago, Chile and the surrounding areas as well. I urge everyone in Santiago to wear your regular rubber boots or raincoats to keep it dry. Don't walk through the puddles. Avoid the puddles when you go for a walk. For people living in Santiago, Chile and the surrounding areas as well. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain to Santiago, Chile and the surrounding areas. I want every single person in Chile to be extra prepared for heavy rain. If you have anybody living in Santiago, Chile, be prepared for heavy rain starting on Monday, May 20th, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in heavy rain. Stay driving safe.
There you go, Frankie. So if you are in Santiago, Chile this week,
What about my dad's latest song?
we put that one on last week.
The guy acted like a girl again. That's last week.
Yeah, we put those on last week, remember? Oh, now I gotta find.
By the way, me hitting myself in the head, I was trying to picture Frankie as getting hit by hail. I was talking about big hail and high winds. I was doing some screen acting. I wasn't actually hitting myself in the head. I was trying to make it look like hail was hitting me in the head.
Okay. Frankie, yes, we watched the gorilla last week, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really great. Frankie, what else? What's going on in Sydney, Nova Scotia? I heard you had a lot of fog today, and Brandon said that you could make a really good foghorn sound.
Yeah, can you make a really good foghorn sound?
I do.
Something like that, I guess, hey, Frankie. Something like
Alright.
that. So what do we got for news
I'll
this week,
try it.
Frankie? You got any news this week?
News for this week. Did you hear about this and over in Japan? And they're bringing lots of rain to come off and goes to Japan lately too. And did you hear about this? Lots of flooding going on in different parts of the world. Chile had flooding.
Chile had flooding. Did you know that Punxsutawney Phil has had babies? So even though he's a male, but I guess they're his babies. So they got an heir to Punxsutawney Phil.
And there was a wild bear chase in Winnipeg this past week. I don't know if you heard, but in Wildwood Park, they were chasing a bear that got loose. So it seems like old Yogi Bear got loose and was looking for some picnic tables and some snacks. They ended up tranquilizing the bear just the other day. It's a CBC article. I thought that was kind of interesting because you don't hear about that often in Winnipeg. Bears running the streets.
Problem bears. Well, people might remember the problem bear we had here in Wells. It has been destroyed.
The most
So
popular bear in the world came from Winnipeg, didn't it?
Pardon
Huh?
me, Hilden?
So it wasn't the most popular bear in the world from Winnipeg?
Uh,
Winnie
Winnie the Pooh, yeah. It was a different bear this time.
Pooh.
Yeah, I think Winnie the Pooh's been gone a long time now, probably.
I think they still have the statue of him at Assiniboine Park. They kept that. That's where Winnipeg got its name from. Interesting
Um,
little quote of history.
Over in China, a really nice chimpanzee gave someone their shoe back. They dropped their shoe into the chimpanzee cage. My advice to everybody is don't ever drop your shoe into a chimpanzee cage. Those things are meaner than alligators. They will tear your head off. Speaking of alligators, there's a 104-year-old woman in Florida had an alligator that was at her house, and the sheriff came and placed it under arrest. We can't cuff him, the officer said, but you're under arrest. So they took the, I don't understand why, but they arrested an alligator. So there's an escaped kangaroo who is wandering a Texas neighborhood. He was not arrested, I don't believe.
Well,
I guess people don't like alligators as much.
oh, I guess not.
No,
Well,
generally not. They, they're not like friendly. They don't do anything. But I guess this guy's got an emotional support alligator. So what would I know? All I know is that they can live in a sewer. Whether or not they do, they probably are in the Winnipeg sewers.
probably with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's right.
Would the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles eat Kellogg's cereal?
Of course they would. I'd see that. Yeah, they're
An
great.
urgent warning. Urgent warning as Kellogg's recall breakfast cereals.
They turn you into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. And I've also found this awesome story out of Japan. Japanese invent an electronic spoon. That's what you got to use to eat your cereal, your Kellogg's cereal. An electric spoon that zaps your tongue to increase the salty taste. Yes, there you go. It gives you a little zap. So it's like lightning on your tongue.
Chris Kelly is in Oregon, or he's in Arizona right now, 2,000 meters, and he won't come on the show for a 1-minute check-in. And neither will Mark. He won't come on the show for a 1-minute check-in. He's on night shift. And as well, Hank, he's working right now, Hank Bleestra, so he doesn't want to check in for 1 minute. Just 1 minute is all I'm asking, guys. And
Come on, guys.
else? Nobody wants to check in for 1 minute, so you're stuck with the rest of us. A man who tried to body slam an orca in New Zealand, he was fined. So we don't try to body slam orcas. And if you do, don't let the police find out because they will arrest you and probably the orca too if you're in Florida. There is no orcas in Florida, but
there's this in Mexico here. There's this dispute that went on in the streets here between a mariachi band and a flame sword swallower. So they got in a little battle, a little tangle there on the streets in Mexico this week. Could you imagine that? A guy with sword swallowing, flame swords, and mariachi band. So the mariachi band uses their trumpets. The guy uses his sword and his fire.
well, that reminds me of Mexico because that's where mariachi bands are from. And there was a horrifying video that went around this week of a woman. She was attacked by a bull on a beach in Mexico. So imagine you're just on the beach hanging out, blah blah blah, and then suddenly it's like you're in Spain. It's the running of the bulls, and it was all caught on camera. It was shocking. She's not been identified, but she got mashed pretty hard. It may be hard to identify her now, for all I know. You were really playing with it right now, the woman said to the woman. Don't do that. So you're not doing us any favors. She was pushing the bull's head away from her bag, and she was trying to be a bully to the bull, and then it acted like a bull, and it rammed her, and it struck her in the face and caused her to fall and violently tossed her in the air. So that's, remember that bulls are some of the meanest animals on earth, man. Like, don't mess around with the bull.
Same with and coyote, that's another thing.
Could you imagine
Also, we'll have to worry about the Havon Lees in Arizona. They're like wild pigs.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un,
Heavenly.
He recruits 25 new virgins every year for his pleasure squad, Kim Jong Un. So 25 new virgins every year, which is in dark contrast to the Paris Olympics, which they're calling it the city of no love right now because the anti-sex beds that have been installed for the athletes, they're very small beds.
They're made of cardboard.
And they're unsexy. They've been called anti-sex beds.
That's
So
for the
speaking-
Olympics coming up in July in Paris.
Oh,
They can
yes.
only support 200 kilograms a person, so that's why they're being called that. They will break if you try to have.
Yes. Well, speaking of Virgin, there's a new show that's now called Virgin Island, and I won't tell you the rest of it, but it's pretty much a show where, yeah, all virgins get together.
It sounds like something I would never ever watch in 1,000 years. And
I would never watch
even
that
knowing
show
that it
either.
exists now has made my life just a little bit worse.
Oh, sorry about that.
Barry Sawchuk, this guy out in Saskatchewan. So Ituna. We've talked about
Oh, yeah,
Ituna.
we talked about that last week. Yes.
Yeah, they had tornado warnings there, or watches, or something or other, right? In Ituna. So also in Ituna, on February 28th, 2024, a piece of space junk landed.
Yep.
And Barry Sawchuk, he found this piece of space junk, debris in his field. So he was a part of a rocket. Not every day you go out and find space junk, he says with a laugh. And so there he goes.
Yeah. And what did he do with that space junk? We recall from last week when I mentioned it briefly there. So he
Did you mention this story already?
Yeah. So he tried to tried to give it back to SpaceX, but they didn't return his calls or anything. So he decided he's going to sell the space junk, the so-called space junk, and the money that he raised for that is going back to the local hockey arena. So
This is crazy. Like, someone can be killed by some of this flying stuff.
Oh yeah.
What if 50 pieces of space junk and 50 earthquakes happen at the same time, Frankie? And
Really
50
bad.
bulls.
50 bulls. 50 lightning strikes. 50 Brandon Houks. Man, that'd be an awesome
Someone,
show if there's 50 of me on the show.
Did let's
Just
Wheel of
imagine it.
Fortune. Someone did Wheel of Fortune for that. I can guarantee you that Brandon would probably spit on it.
50 Brandon Houks.
50
cool.
Brandon Houks in unison singing.
Oh my gosh, that looks that I'm just visualizing that now and it's terrifying.
All
There's
your
already
mini
two
pops
on the
favorite
show.
classics.
Remember
It's the
when there was
50
two Brandon
Houck
Houks on the
Choir.
show? That was like the best day ever.
So all
Oh, yeah,
these
I
guys,
remember that.
all these guys talk on the show. All these guys are
Yeah.
are talking on
We
our group
got the
chat. You say
same
they're
story.
too busy. They're too busy, but they're buzzing my phone nonstop, chatting. You guys, if you won't come on the show, but you'll just
Great
help
picture.
disrupt it by
Nevada.
chatting. It's great that we all get along. I mean, we all really like each other. That's good, right?
So the world's largest tree in Sequoia National Park, California. People are trying to climb up it as it's facing climate threats. General Sherman passes health check. The world's largest tree faces growing climate threats. It's on Canadian Press. There's a little video of it, but there's no article. It's interesting. I didn't know there was such thing as the world's largest tree.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
A lot of world records around. By the way,
Yeah.
Drumheller, by the way, they tried to break that world record a couple weeks ago for
They tried to
largest
break the
gathering
world's
of
largest
people.
tree record in Drumheller. It was really
Well-
hard. They had the wrong growing climate. And trees don't grow
Well-
that fast.
This was for the most people in dinosaur costumes a couple weeks ago. However, because of our little we spread the word quite a bit there. So over 3,000 people showed up in dinosaur costumes. But apparently, too many people showed up and they couldn't count everybody. So it failed back in April for the world record. So they're going to have to do it again. And yeah, again next year. That's what they're going to do. Try to beat the world record for most people
I remember
dinosaur
that
costumes.
2 years ago this week, that was the final Rob Slim show forever. Was May 25th, 2022. That was my final appearance on Rob Slim's show. They Rob Slim hanging up their microphones.
Already a full year now, eh? Frankie, could you imagine if you and everybody got dressed up as dinosaurs and you're like, man, this is so stupid, but we're going to do it so that we can get a world record. And then you don't get a world record, but you spent the whole day dressed up as a stupid dinosaur.
I can see that being a challenge done at Winnipeg. I mean, they did the world's largest flag at the corner of Portage and Main a few years ago in the summer for Canada Day.
And then there's another one where they challenge all the people named Kyle to go to Kyle, Texas. I think we talked about this a couple of months ago. We did. So they put the word out for that. But that failed as well. So not enough people named Kyle showed up to Kyle, Texas for this world record. So they failed twice in a row.
Can you imagine? And for your trouble, you got to spend your day surrounded by friggin' Kyles.
Kyles. They're actually nice people.
Despite the fact that they're handed out in Chinese restaurants, the fortune cookie is not from China. It was brought to the U.S.
I can
by the
confirm that.
Japanese.
I can confirm that. Because
they're rarely found in China.
I thought they were from China, man.
Well, the thing is, I went to China 10 years ago, and I was looking forward to fortune cookies. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have all these fortune cookies.
You're just going to get fat on fortune cookies. Like...
And I get there, and the first thing that our guy tells us, there is no such thing as fortune cookies here. And our jaws dropped to the floor when we were on the bus there. And what they do in China, though, is they give you dish after dish after dish after dish. And then when the watermelon shows up, that's when they're done giving you dishes. And that is the dessert, is watermelon. So it's a healthier dessert than fortune cookies, I guess. But there you go. So that's what they do in China.
Well, it's not a fortune cookie there, because there, when you open it up, you read it, it says, you are going to jail. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star was not composed by Mozart. So get that out of your head.
Back in 2022, Brandon Helk had a close call to head to Sydney, Nova Scotia. He went to PEI. He didn't have enough time to head to Sydney that time.
That's right. Yes.
That was a close call.
So question, Brandon. If fortune cookies are not made in China, then are panda teas and bubble teas made in the Philippines? If that's where they're originally from.
I'll have to look into that. I have to go to
did you notice when you're in China, the Buddha was not fat?
The what?
The Buddha was not initially fat.
No. But there's this statue, and the guy told me, as I was getting a picture beside the statue, the guy told me, so, all right, if you get a picture beside the statue, you're going to drink more beer. And that's exactly what I did. I got a picture with the statue, and apparently he was right about that.
Did you know that they have a world's largest statue dump truck in Sparwood, BC?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's huge.
Yes.
Yeah, I went there when I was about 15, and I still thought that thing was massive for a dump truck.
And it's awesome. It's like, man, I want to move to Sparwood. They have the world's biggest dump truck, and then you get to Sparwood, and you're like, sure is a big dump truck.
I've been there.
Like the next day, you go down to Stedman's, and when you're at the mall, you look over and you're like, that still is the world. That's still a big dump truck. And that's what people talk about there a lot. The dump truck. Yeah. Dump trucking around. If there's 50 dump trucks, 50 hurricanes, 50 earthquakes, and 50 baby earthworms are not, when you cut one in half, they're not two separate worms. So stop torturing worms thinking that you're making more worms.
Yeah, and don't eat worms either.
Not all the time. Don't eat them all the time.
There is this guy in I think he's was in the news the other I can't remember. It was a news story. This guy is making dishes out of wilderness food. And he's cooking for people and he's making menus with it. It's in the news somewhere. I don't know the name of the article, but he's doing it somewhere in the BC wilderness.
So here's something.
And I get a major announcement to make. That means I'll be heading to Cape Breton Music Industry Hall of Fame induction Center 200 at 7 p.m. Atlantic time on Thursday, June 20th, 2024.
That's right, eh? So you're gonna be in the Hall of Fame, Frankie. How many Hall of Fames have you been in
I'll
now?
be watching the Hall of Fame.
Oh, you're watching the Hall of Fame. They're not inducting you?
I'm just watching the Hall of Fame. They're inducting musicians. That means on Thursday, June 20th, I'll be heading to Center 200 for Cape Breton Music Industry Hall of Fame. I'll be watching that.
They should be inducting you, Frankie, with your musical voice. I've seen the way you sing
Back on
karaoke.
Wednesday, I bought the ticket for that already.
That's cool. That's a really good thing.
It's a table seating.
You got that going on. You got Sydney Ribfest on July 36th.
On July 12th, 13th, 14th, 2024.
You got a pretty cool summer ahead now for you, Frankie. You know, and I bet you it's so lovely to be in Cape Breton in the summertime.
That means I got news for you. I'll be sitting in the on the floor in the tables at the Cape Breton Music in Hall of Fame Music Industry Hall of Fame induction.
Who's getting inducted, Frankie?
Some of those musicians from around here.
You know, don't know anyone particular?
Don't know in
There's been
particular.
some great musicians, of course, came from Cape Breton, including everyone knows Ashley McIsaac and his tremendous fiddle playing.
Yeah.
We know East Coasters, they got that musical touch, right, Hilding? They know how to make the music out there, don't they? We got the cowboy music out here. They got the East Coast music out there. You know, it's okay. We like what they do.
Some
We
of our
got
best
Nickelback
cowboy
here.
music came from Nova Scotia too.
And they got Nickelback in Alberta, which is you know, really unfortunate.
That means if you want to follow me on social media, my Blue Sky is at Frankie MacD. My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDo984. My Clapper is FrankDo984. My Twitch is FrankDo984. My Snapchat is Frankie MACDY. My YouTube channel is Dogs Wolves. And my LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Best luck there. I'm Frankie Donald. You're listening to Comeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
That's right. You've been hearing us on C for 88.7 in Prince George, CKW 95.9 in Winnipeg, CFBX Kamloops 92.5, and Rogers Television on Vancouver Island. So thanks for having us on all your stations. We really appreciate it. It's a blast. We love to do this. I am Joey Only, your host. I'm up here in Wells, British Columbia. We'll try to have an episode for you next week. Can't guarantee I can get a radio one out because I'm probably going to get deployed somewhere to go be a firefighter. That's what I do in the summer times. And
That's the show.
That's the show, Frankie.
Follow me on the Weather Center in Manitoba too. It's Mike McGregor, and thanks for joining our show.
That's the show, man. Okay, everybody, I gotta stop it now.
All right. That is the show.
Yeah, even Brandon Hilding, do you understand that we're now done the show?
That's the show.
He understands. That's okay. That's the show.
Not
That
the
is
show.
it. Bye, everybody. That's the show. That's not the show if you're on YouTube live still, but I mean, it pretty much is the show because I am hungry and you know.
I'm trying to make funny faces.
Yeah, I am. Oh yeah, it's in Nevada. I think that Chris is in Nevada.
I'm gonna get going, guys. I gotta cook dinner. I'm still getting over
My
this
tornado
virus.
hair.
Still getting over the 50 tornado virus. Yeah, I think
I got
that's.
my tornado hair here. Oh yeah.
Now my hair is also messy, so
I like it all. If you are still watching, hit like, share, and subscribe, and tell a friend that we are The only ones in Canada who are doing anything like this, right? So
This and the Weather Network sometimes.
trying to get but weather bet work. We're trying to get to even Gary's going to A&W for a burger now. So I'm kind of jealous, but I'm going to town tomorrow. So and the first thing you do when you get to the end of the Barkerville Highway, Gary, is you get a teen burger. I can't wait. Been eating my own food all week until I actually got paid out for all my fire days so far this week, and I went and bought myself lunch today at Diggy's Diner. It was so good. And Curtis put extra things on for me. And
You ever come to Manitoba? You should check out Half Moon Restaurant. Oh my gosh, their burgers there are so good.
It's been quite a while since I've been in Manitoba. Quite a while.
Lockport.
You'll never get
Someday I'll be back playing
Chikazi Lake.
What do they got
You
there?
had a Chikazi burger ever, Joey?
No.
They get locally raised beef, make their own patties. But the Chikazi Lake here is known for the best burger in central BC.
That's
I had
amazing.
one yesterday for dinner.
I honestly would love to
25
meet.
kilometers from my
We
house.
should sometime in the summer. We should do a meetup. Everybody comes to like Central Canada, or where we all meet up one city for like
Yeah, well, if
men's
it's on
hangout.
fire, I'll see you there. Oh, and Chris comes at the end of the show. All episode we could have used a Chris Calais. All episode we could have used a Chris Calais.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
And we're still live streaming, but the television audience will miss Chris Calais.
Well, I don't think that the content was appropriate for the television audience. So.
Oh yeah. So what's fucking going on there, bud?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm up in Ely, Nevada. We drove from Phoenix to Ely, 900 kilometers in one day, or maybe 1,000 kilometers. I don't know, somewhere in there. Fucking long as hell. But yeah, got all kinds of I don't know, seedy joints here in town. Casinos, brothels. It's just the Wild West, circa 1800s.
And you said your friend paid Samantha Saint for a 90-minute session? What's that about?
Stephanie Saint. Yeah, he actually.
Oh,
told me
okay,
that.
not
We were
Samantha
visiting-
Saint.
We were visiting him in Vegas, and we went on a little walk because obviously I don't want my kids kind of overhearing the conversation. And yeah, he said he had a 90-minute session with Stephanie Saint. And I told him so how was it on a scale of 0 to 10? 10's mind blowing, obviously, and 0's I don't know. We won't go there, but he said it was only a 5 or a 6. So.
Wow.
So I don't know what to think about that. I mean, I think that he said he went to this really nice house. They were filming. They were doing some adult film stuff in the other rooms, and he, dropped $400 on 90 minutes. So.
Well, only $400, I guess. Hey, so that's it. But you think if you're paying
There
for
you go.
you're
Yeah,
hoping
what you
for at
pay
least a
for, I
strong
think.
7. A
Man,
solid 7.
If $400 is only 90 minutes of so sex, man, that's expensive. In my book.
If you, that's a.
So, anyways, I'll maybe
I'd
turn
pay
my camera
$500
here
for that right
now.
now.
So you can kind of see what's around. Actually, I don't know if I can turn my camera.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. My mind's not even there.
So
I was
there's nothing
thinking,
much going on.
okay, you got a nice back massage. Sweet.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
give you back. They give you a back massage, and they give you another massage.
Right before they jerk you off.
Yeah, right before they suck you dry.
Still 90 minutes.
Yep. So
What's a massage go for these days? Like a normal one?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to fucking turn my camera back to face me. All right, guys. I'm technologically impaired tonight.
Man, that's crazy. Nevada, 2,000 meters, you said? Above
Yeah,
sea level?
it's like 2,200 meters here.
Holy. That's somewhere,
So-
8,000 feet?
Yeah, I mean, we got some snow on some of the mountains around here, and we're at 40 degrees latitude or 38 degrees latitude. So
Geez, that's 2,000 feet above where I am. I'm 756 meters above sea level where I am.
man, it's chilly out here. I think it's supposed to get down to about +2 tonight or +3.
I'm at 1,200 meters in Wells,
So I left
which
Vegas.
in northern Canada is a stupid elevation to live at.
So I left Vegas. It was 33 degrees Celsius. I get up here and it was like 15.
Ooh, yeah.
4-hour drive. So
It's often kind of like that even when I go from Quesnel to here.
but no,
Yeah, it's like that when we go from
I'll hop on next week.
Winnipeg to like
I'll hop on next
Thompson.
week and
If I'm still here, the rumor is, the rumor is that we're next truck out. So generally, when I get a call like that, I've made it 24 hours since I've been told we're the next truck out, and I'm like, wow, 24 hours. Of course, sometimes it's 10 days, so I don't know.
I was going
right?
to ask you, how's the firefighting going this season so far?
I mean, right now it's going awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't you tell?
Yeah, here we got a little snow in these mountains. I'll turn around and maybe if I can fucking figure out my phone. So yeah, like I wasn't planning on hopping on, but I managed to get some decent internet finally. So yeah, there's some kind of back in on top of that building you can kind of see above it.
Oh yeah.
Is that a restaurant? Looks like it's Smitty's.
It's just a grocery store. We got dinner there. So
It's just like everywhere in America looks fucking exactly the same, except you have to look beyond and you see some mountains. And you're like, but it's like, here I am at the McDonald's in America somewhere.
I heard they have Blue McDonald's in Arizona.
There's a McDonald's right like over here, dude.
Yeah, see?
There's like Golden Arches. Can you find it?
Oh, I do see it. Yeah. How horrible.
It's a wasteland, man.
Really,
No.
that's what human civilization, that's what humanity has, we've been working for billions of years in this planet to come to some kind of a conclusion for, the most advanced species, and this is what you get.
But on the flip side, though, Ely is kind of like what I envisioned, like Barkerville was a little bit like back in the heyday. Obviously, it was more rustic and more, 1800s ish, but like kind of.
Well, back in the heyday, you couldn't get fucking banned from Barkerville for walking up the street to go see your goddamn children.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Has anything happened there in the past like month or two?
Well, it's funny you say so. I mean, not for me personally, but more people hate Kate than ever. So, it's like this happens in waves in the history of this town that I've been here, where I've been like, that person's full of shit. And then everyone's like, well, you're being a little harsh. I'm like, nope, that person's full of shit.
Well, now Mark
and then eventually, because that person's full of shit, other people start seeing the bullshit that they do. And, more and more people. So they've, I guess so what's happened now is Barkerville has cut out a bunch of the campsites. And in the campsites that they do have, even if there is no fire ban, there's no fires to be welcome anymore in the campsite. Okay. So people get to come up to the mountains here and freeze their asses off. That's nice. Just like, how can we find more ways to make the experience miserable for people? People from Quesnel who went there and got accosted by security and said, we're never going back. This is the kind of stuff that continues to go on.
But you got Mark in BC now, so you guys can kind of conspire together and figure out a game plan, I guess. Huh?
I think so. Yeah.
Get him to show up one weekend,
Did you take the news well?
He's excited to move up there. I don't know if he was on tonight, but
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys aren't talking now. It's like, only one at a time comes on.
we chat back and forth, but I've been on vacation and I've kind of been trying to disconnect a little bit,
Yeah, fair enough.
But like when I have something funny to talk about, like tonight, we didn't roll into town until 6:45. We had to get the kids food, so.
Well, I gotta admit, I was way behind this happening. Like, right from the start, where Mark's like, well, I don't want anyone to know, but I'm looking at this job in BC. I'm like, yes, you must do it. You must get out of America now.
Well, they're paying him pretty well. Honestly, in his shoes, I probably would have done it too. But I got 4 kids, and like relocating to another country doesn't really work for my situation.
You drove 1,000 kilometers, man. What are you talking about? You drove 1,000 kilometers with kids in your vehicle.
Yeah, is that about from Vancouver to Calgary or what?
It's kind of, but I don't know. I mean, it depends on what the condition of the highways is like.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude.
certainly that drive from
Time.
Calgary to Vancouver can be quick or it can be very long and painful,
So
Yeah.
yeah, I got up at 7.
especially if you take Highway 3.
We left at 7 a.m. We left my in-laws at 7 a.m. and down in Phoenix, and then we drove until basically 7 p.m. almost. We stopped for like a little bit, but here and there. But
You see Superstition Mountain at all? That's a
yeah,
popular
it
one
was
in
kinda,
Arizona.
the air quality was kind of crap down there though because of the ozone and everything. So like it was pretty hazy, but like I saw the outline, you know.
Oh man, I'd love to go back out down there. I was down in Phoenix when I was about 15, 16, and it's
So-
been a long time.
I was just mostly hanging out in my in-laws pool and like friggin' just trying to stay cool, you know, because it was like I said, it was 35 to 38 degrees Celsius every afternoon. So for we were down there 5 days, and then morning you'd have a few hours that were like around 18 to 20.
Sounds
Around like
Yeah.
Kamloops in
5, 6
July.
a.m. So yeah, so that's like
That sounds
July
fun.
down there is like 43, 45 for a high and like I don't know, 25 for a low.
Yeah, you'd be
down
surprised.
there
I
in
mean, you wouldn't be
March.
surprised because you're a meteorologist, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't be surprised how hot Kamloops gets. Ashcroft too, man. Like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're down low in the valley, maybe it's not. We're maybe not the weather station. Or if you're down, but the bottom of the river valley, the Thompson River, and
So
you're
we-
where all the rocks are radiating. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hot.
So we
down
could
in-
talk about why canyons are hotter than like flat areas. The reason
Yeah,
why
they're
is because
radiating.
you have a lot more surface air. So basically, if you were to picture like a bubble of air around you, there's a lot more ground area when you have like a V-shaped canyon. The canyon walls get heated up, and you kind of radiate that both
Well, and they're also generally rocky,
vertically and
right?
horizontally. Exactly. So in canyons are always going to be hotter, generally speaking, than the same elevation outside of the canyon.
Man, you go through some of that low country in parts of BC, man, it gets friggin' hot. Like,
I mean, yeah,
it's crazy.
I believe it. Yeah, you guys hit.
Clinton, BC is about
You
50
guys hit
degrees
50.
once.
You guys hit 50 Celsius with the heat wave, so
Yeah,
Yes.
it was hot.
that's pretty remarkable. I don't
Yeah.
even think you guys got hotter than Oregon, which is strange, but I believe it. So
That was a completely bizarre phenomenon, man.
it's not going to happen again in our lifetimes. Like I'm, at least to that extent, I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know.
I got a
50.
question for you
hot.
then. Why do they not open the water parks till like June or July?
Is it for me or for Joe?
That's for you, Chris, because I was
Oh,
down in Arizona in March and it was like 25, 26 degrees. I'm like, why aren't the water parks open? It's hot.
Well, I think it's because
People in
that live
Arizona
down
think
there-
that's cold.
people that
Yeah.
live down there, they wear a jacket when it's 25 degrees Celsius.
Oh yeah.
I think it's cold, but I think a lot of it is
Weakness.
the fact that the schools are still in session until like around Memorial Day. I think they just got out like this Tuesday. So
Well, and you gotta do something to drive the urine content in the pools down too, right? If you have them going all year long, it's just
so
you're swimming in
usually
total piss by the end
from
of
like
August.
I think before Memorial Day in like May, they're usually open just on the weekends. And then after Memorial Day until Labor Day, in the U.S. holidays, they're open 7 days a week. So down there. So well, the nice thing is like if you go in the evenings, it's still like 30, 35 Celsius, and like you don't get sunburned. So that's great. I think the evenings are the best time to hit the water slides because they got it all lit up and stuff. Sometimes they got like, how you have black light bowling, you can just do a black light like
Yeah,
water slide
yeah.
shit,
Oh yeah.
So it's like night skiing, but the summer version,
That's really cool. It's
So
interesting stuff too.
yeah, so yeah,
I didn't
Phoenix
know
is,
anything about that about Arizona.
but honestly, like I kind of get a little cheap when I'm down there, and I'm content to just kind of lounge in my in-laws pool because it's free. So
Yeah, well, it's cheaper than $400 for 90 minutes.
yeah, I told them I'm like, dude, like I'm not gonna talk. Your money sense is I'm questioning your money sense at this point. But he's a good friend of mine. We've known each other since college. So
That's 400 American dollars, people, which is like 2,000
I
Canadian.
think this was like 5 years ago. He's been in
pennies.
Vegas for 10 years, and he's actually an elementary school teacher. So but teaches like second grade. But yeah, so
After
dude,
10
there are
years, I
there are some
deserve this.
weird
And all he gets is a
teachers.
5.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
guys, I'm
So
gonna head out. It's nice hanging with you tonight.
all right, guys.
Good night,
Well,
Mike. Good to see you. Thanks for bringing your cool graph. Always bring that kind of
You're
stuff. I like
welcome.
that.
Joey, feel free to edit in some video if you want. I mean, of me if you want to. But
And it's really hard to do that from the.
oh, okay.
Send me a 1-minute clip before the morning.
Okay. I'll try to. I'll see it.
Yeah, like just do it right now.
Yeah.
And be like, here I am. And make sure you do landscape.
What do you want me to talk about? I'll just talk a little bit about my trip, maybe for a few minutes, and then send it to you.
Yeah, whatever the hell you want, man.
All right. Pull a Frankie McDonald.
Well, because I always, we recorded about 61 minutes tonight, but by the time I'm done editing, we got about 53 minutes worth of show. So
yeah, then you got does Rogers throw in some commercials and stuff? They want like 50 minutes only, or what?
Yeah, and so then what I do is I got 8 minutes to just add like Frankie saying, "Oh my God," in Japan, and Brad saying, "Just about choked on my popcorn."
Yeah.
Like fill the time up with bullshit half the time.
All right, guys. Well, anyways, it was still fun shooting the breeze with you guys this evening. So
yeah, it's good to see you, Chris. Man, you're awesome, buddy.
I'll jump on. I'm gonna be working Mark's shifts for the next couple months, so because he up and left,
So now twice the money for you. You're working 2 shifts.
Yeah, I told him they should add his old salary to mine and call it good,
Yeah, that'll, otherwise I'll go to BC too.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
All right.
Have a good
I'm
night.
going to say goodbye to you, everybody. So
Yeah.
good to see you all. And thanks, everybody, for watching out there.